Well, the media war against the menacing children of Covington Catholic in Kentucky continues tonight. The brief moment of media regret has been forgotten entirely. Yesterday, the Today Show questioned especially terrifying Covington student Nick Sandman. They suggested that he had attacked a grown man, Nathan Phillips, by not bowing down or running away when Phillips approached him, as he should have.
There's something aggressive about standing there, standing your ground.
Don't just stand there. It's aggressive. Well, today, that same anchor over at NBC interviewed Phillips. He's the Native American elder you've been hearing so much about. And that anchor had no shortage of material to ask Mr. Phillips about: his numerous false statements, which he has made on tape recently, his misrepresentation of his military record, or this interview in which Phillips describes a group of passive, stationary children as a, quote, lynch mob. Watch.
The same faces that were on the crowds of those youth at the D.C. was the same faces of the youth that were surrounding the young black woman who was trying to get an education, and the scorns and the scowls that were on the pictures there, and the same pictures of when you see pictures of lynchings, the same faces on the folks that were doing the lynchings. That's what these young people's faces look like.
This is becoming a society that speaks almost exclusively in cliches, and that's a sign of decline. In the case of the tape you just saw, that was false. It was totally misleading and slanderous, and lies like that will hurt these kids for life. So maybe Phillips could have been asked about that, but no. Instead, he got the softest interview network television has done since Princess Di. Watch this.
He does wish that he had walked away. Was that enough for you, or do you think he should have apologized?
Me, I'd be like way down on the list of his people he needs to apologize to.
Did you hear anyone say, build that wall? It isn't audible on the video clips, I think, that are out there, but did you hear that?
You know, I did hear that. And I have seen some out there on the internet where you can hear them saying, build that wall.
And how did you feel in that moment? Did you yourself feel threatened?
Joe Concha writes about media for The Hill and joins us tonight. Joe, I know the anchor you just saw was actually a very nice person, I would say. I don't think a mean person, but that's not journalism. It's nauseating, actually. And why didn't some producer say, I'm sorry, you have to do a real interview at some point? This is a news story, do a news interview. Why weren't they willing to do that?
Or, Tucker, after the fact, when Nathan Phillips said, I saw videos where you could hear the students chanting, build that wall, NBC News needs to go back and say, A, review all the tapes, and then B, once they come to the conclusion that every other news organization has come to, which is no one has heard anyone chant, build that wall, they have to tag it out. You know what a tag is. After the reports say NBC News cannot verify what Nathan Phillips was saying. And you're right about that being a softball interview. He was asked by Savannah Guthrie in the beginning, how you doing? How are you feeling? And how can you ask, if you're Savannah Guthrie, how do you not have the self-awareness to just know that if you ask the 15-year-old kid that was exonerated by all those videos if he should apologize, how do you not ask Nathan Phillips that same question? That's all people at home want, just some consistency. You ask him to apologize, you have to ask Nathan Phillips to apologize as well.
You know, conservatives spend a lot of time complaining about how tough the media are on Trump and his supporters. Okay, I don't mind it when journalists are tough. We almost never point out the real crime, which is they go soft on everybody else. Everything is cheesecloth in front of the lens, soft focus. I mean, it's disgusting, actually.
Yeah, the soft part, you're right about that. Read the New York Times today, where they did a full feature on the black Israelites, where at no point do they reference the homophobic slurs that this group traffics in, the racist slurs that they traffic in. Then juxtapose this with Dan Levin, New York Times reporter, tweeted out earlier, and I had the producers do a full screen quote on this just so everybody can read along at home because it's remarkable. I'm a New York Times reporter writing about exposed Christian schools. Are you in your 20s or younger who went to a Christian Christian school? I'd like to hear about your experience and its impact on your life. Gee, do you think this reporter's going in with a nefarious agenda? And by the way, you could paint any public institution, if you solicit enough people, as a horrible place, whether it be a public school, private school, Hebrew school, Muslim school. And this reporter is going to then present a story that's going to be seen as objective by his editors to readers who won't know better, to take down the Catholic institution, expose Christian schools. This is, I don't use this word very often, Tucker, because I don't like the whole hyperbole cable news thing. This is disgusting for a reporter to do this.
I agree with that. Joe Concha, thank you very much for that.
All right, thank you.
You don't want to be